What's going on, guys? Just checking in. First and foremost, thank you for clicking on this video. Every time you guys watch one of my videos, you're making my life better, and I really genuinely appreciate that. But enough with the sappy stuff. I'm going to answer a question I got from one of my subscribers, and that is, what are your current fitness and weight training goals? And I like that question because they've definitely changed a tad. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. When I first started my series weight training 2-3 years ago, I really had one goal and one goal only: get as big and as strong as possible. Body composition be damned. I was just going to get strong. And, I had just started testosterone replacement therapy. Many of you know that's a part of my story, obviously a huge part of this channel. Prior to that, I was in a treatment-resistant depression, suicidal, no strength, no libido, no nothing, and no testosterone. So when I finally got that worked out, I was like, I just want to get strong, and I did. And I set my sights after, the first year of training and getting familiar with the basic movements: bench, dead, squats, pull-ups, dips, stuff like that. I was like, I want to have a 400-pound bench press. I want to have a 600-pound deadlift and a 500-pound squat. And I got really, really close to that. But I didn't quite hit those goals, and it became really difficult to build strength after a certain point. It just did. And it came at a cost, and that cost was body fat. I just got fat, and I don't know what kind of lies I was telling myself or what kind of bullshit I was feeding myself as to what was really happening and what wasn't happening, but my eternal perma bulk, once I started my testosterone replacement therapy, just left me fat and overweight, and I was starting to really not do well with that. I was starting to feel bad. I was starting to look very bad. It was starting to affect my mental health, and I also want to be clear, and this probably doesn't need to be said because if you watch my shit, you know this, but feeling mentally well is the most important thing on earth to me. Depression, anxiety, depersonalization, too big a part of my story to not take that more serious, and so I was like, man, my relationship with food is shitty. All I do is eat, simple carbs, processed sugars, processed foods. Just terrible eating habits, and the whole I just want to be strong thing was losing its luster. Not the whole lifting for strength, but just the way I was doing it. So back in January, I reassessed some stuff, and I was like, man, I want to start eating to feel good, eating to look good. So I started the cut. I weigh in every Sunday, and I kind of go over what I've been doing, diet and exercise-wise, week to week. And I've lost 20 pounds, and one of the things I really had to change was my mindset on strength. I think I was so paranoid and afraid to lose the strength I'd built and the size I had built, even if a lot of that size was fat, that I was just afraid, and I let that be an excuse to not eat healthier, eat cleaner, or go into a caloric deficit, which is bullshit. It's really bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. That was an unhealthy mindset that I was really stuck in, and I had sleep apnea, and I had body image issues, and I was obviously spiking my my blood sugar and crashing it all day, every day. I've learned a laundry list of facts about the way I was eating and why it was terrible. But the point is, it was a bullshit way to live for a guy like me. A guy like me who speaks on treasuring your mental health. And then I was eating like an asshole forever. So my goals in the gym, sorry to round trip, but my goals in the gym, what I was allowed myself to do is be okay with losing some strength. And I think that's really the only thing that's really changed. I've noticed that I've been doing a little less powerlifting style movements. I always like a lot of fitness people on YouTube, I like to start my lifts off with my compound movements, my big babies like bench, dead, and squat. And I like to do some heavy sets with low reps ranges to begin with. And so now my goal is simply to keep as much strength as I possibly can while I'm in a caloric deficit, while I'm losing weight. Like I said, 20 pounds in the last 11 weeks, and I got like 15, 20 to go, maybe more. We'll see, and just be okay with that. So I find myself, after I get done with my power work, I find myself doing more hypertrophy training and more high rep work and shorter rest times as opposed to longer rest times. I'm also finding myself being more interested in cardiovascular work, playing more basketball, doing more HIIT training, and maybe like once a week, honestly, doing kind of like a WOD like they do in CrossFit. Once a week, just one of those crazy wreck your body with like circuit training, jumping from push-ups to tire flips to pull-ups to sprinting with a sled, stuff like that, just stuff that just shocks the system, and then more mobility work and kind of enjoying some of the freedom of that the weight being gone has afforded me, certainly not snoring anymore, and just leaving it that. Now we're going to see what specific numbers I want to hit once I'm done losing all the weight, but right now it's just about keeping my mind in the right place. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. Check out what I caught my girl doing when I was cooling down. This is in the middle of her last set, but she can kill pull-ups for days. This was like rep 14 or 15. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And please, in the comments below, let me know, what are your goals right now?